moment from the chaos in Baltimore that had people cheering for more.
Mother of the Year.
I leaped out of my chair and said, yes!
I was captivated.
Captivated by a Baltimore mother reading the riot act to her 16-year-old son. To remove him from the riot, we now know her name is Toya Graham, and she's a single mom of 5 girls and a boy. Here's what she told CBS News about her brand of tough love.
That's my only son, and at the end of the day, I don't want him to be a Freddie Gray.
The Baltimore man whose death in police custody sparked protests, her tough discipline won muttered admiration and outright applause.
Of a mother desperately trying to keep her son from joining the rioters. And you know, she saw. Yeah!
She quickly started to trend on Twitter, #BaltimoreMom. She went to pick up her son at the mall because she heard trouble was brewing there.
He said, Mom, when I seen you, my instinct was to run. You know, I'm a no-tolerant mother. He knew he was in trouble.
The video was shared and analyzed from the right.
Like, look, right there is the moment that I think just gripped my heart.
And the left.
Here's a kid that'll take a brick and throw at a cop, but ducks when his mother comes and slap him.
Is he the perfect boy? No, he's not. But he's mine.
Send in the moms, read one headline. Maybe you really are the mother of all moms when you can inspire this kind of look in your tough guy son.
I think one of the prevailing things that are happening here is that what I'm hearing is this intense sort of discussion around self-hatred and when you're in a bigger body. And I wanted to ask people, like down the front there, you who's 20, is your life better? Are you happier? Is everything better now that you're slightly smaller than you were before? I mean, I think one of the things
let's get an answer to the question. Are you?
Absolutely. And I'm not a little bit smaller, I'm a lot smaller. And I did do research into everything. I can still have kids, and that may not have happened if I had stayed the size I was. Like, my question to you is, can you honestly say that you are 100% happy and healthy? Like, you have no medical conditions whatsoever, you have no problems at all with your health at your weight as compared to...
Can we have an answer? No. The question's been asked. What's the answer?
I think it's really interesting that I feel like I need to justify my existence in this room.
No, but hang on a minute. You asked her to justify her decision.
I asked her if she was happy. I didn't ask her to justify what her health issues now or if there is any.
But have you got any health issues?
No, I'm perfectly happy.
I'd love to know, like, what do you see as healthy with eating?
Yeah, it's interesting that you've just assumed that I eat bad food because of my size.
No, I'd love to know, because if you're really healthy, do you have any joint issues, or so you're completely...
I swim 2.5 kilometres a day. I walk, I exercise all the time. I am in a synchronised swimming team, and I really resent the fact that I have to actually justify my existence and my ability to live in the world in a bigger body in a way that I'm happy with.
But we're all talking about health tonight. I mean, the whole show is about weight and health.
No,
so it's not an unreasonable...
About is surgery, and we haven't actually talked about the possibility that you can actually live in your life.
No, but we have.
This body.
We have talked about that. But all I'm saying is that a question to anyone about what they eat in the context of this program, anyone in this room, is perfectly reasonable, I think.
But it's interesting that they've only been directed at fat people.
No, it's not about being fat or not being fat. It's about what everybody eats. Well, it's about what everybody eats and what health is. What health
you're conflating
No. I'm not conflating anything. I'm saying I think it's perfectly reasonable in the context of a discussion where you've got research that suggests that people who are overweight and people who are obese can be more prone to particular health problems. I think it's quite reasonable in that context when we're talking about diet, we're talking about losing weight, gaining weight.
Okay, I just have one. I just want to... Oh, okay. I just want to disagree with Lauren there. I feel a heavy amount of animosity towards you, but thank you for bringing this ignorance to our campus, because I think it's important when you hear people from different sides, and because of the First Amendment, I can say that, right?
Well, thank you.
But I do have a real question in there. Your
because there was no question mark at the end. This was going to be a real downer.
In your video where you debunk white privilege, you talk about how white privilege is a made-up term by privileged minorities. So I was wondering if you can elaborate on some of the privileges that you think minority groups have.
Okay, so in privileges in law, so when I say privilege, I'm actually going to talk about legal standing. Okay, so affirmative action is a privilege. Affirmative action is a privilege. Subprime mortgages designed to appeal to minority recipients without proper qualifications, that is a privilege. Right, those are a couple examples of privilege. Privilege would also be the police being told that they can't police in communities the same way they would in other communities because they don't understand the problems of minority communities. That's privilege. And by the way, these privileges are not helpful, but these are, as an overall matter, but it is certainly it's very difficult for me to see how it's not a privilege to get a lower score on the SAT than the Asian guy who's living in exactly the same circumstance. He gets penalized 50 points, you get 230 points on the SATs. That is definitionally a privilege. So there's one. Do you disagree?
Yeah, but I don't want to take up everyone's time, so I'm just going to let.
To me, it's almost like reverting back to the civil rights movement. Now we're telling fat folks that they have to buy an extra seat. Not too long ago, my grandparents had to sit on the back of a bus. It's almost like segregating folks based on the way they look.
I can't imagine. Did you really say that?
Calm down. Don't act like you're offended by KKK. You're so offended by me saying that your approach is so tough.
Why do you keep acting like a victim, though? That's what I'd like to know.
First of all,
well, I don't think we can let something about the KKK just sit there. I find that so incredibly offensive and offensive to the people who, at the hands of that despicable organization, have suffered.
You are coming from a totally different place than Jillian is coming from.
Why would you project something like that on
Because
me?
you're projecting it, own it. If it is what it is, I would respect you so much more. Say what it is. You have a problem with fat people. I would respect you so much more if you said, look, fatty, I can't stand you. I hate you. Get the weight off.
No, I understand you're passionate about this. You know, this is a picture of you with your grandmother. And you
I obviously hate her, don't I? Just hate her. Hate my mom, hate my dad. Why could you say something like that? You know nothing about me other than the propaganda. May I finish one statement?
You know nothing about me.
I haven't gotten to finish one statement. If you read my blog, if you go to actionagainstobesity.com, if you go to findingthin.com, you'll find out what I really am. And then if you want to criticize me, criticize me. Don't criticize me based on what the pro-fat movement writes about me. I wouldn't like that person either.
I did go to your website.
But don't say that I hate a certain group of people when nothing could be further from the truth.
Aside from the statistics, let's look at the notion that women over the past 40 years, we are better educated, which means we have more financial freedom. We don't need a man like we may have needed a couple of decades ago. Do you think there's any truth to the argument that perhaps men feel sort of threatened because they no longer have that power or do you think there's any...
No, I think the average man's doing quite fine. They ignore most of the left feminist claptrap. They ignore people like Van, who are a very, very minority interest in our society. She's a self-declared anarchist, way, way on the extreme left of politics, representing perhaps 0.001% of thought in Australia. So she's safely ignored. The real issue for men is, can they keep up in the education system? At the moment, among university graduates leaving every year, 40% are male, 60% are female, a massive advance for women in this country. And when you look at the bottom of society, when you get away from Van's debate about women like her, because left feminism is essentially selfish. Can I speak, Andrew, without you being a participant? Are you a participant in this show or a host? Are you a professional host or a participant?
I'm trying to get to the bottom of the issue, but you try and insult the other guest.
Are you the host of this program, professional and cool? Are you the host of this program? You should declare what you're doing at the beginning of the segment. You should declare your interest at the beginning of the segment. Because I can tell you the viewers had a gutful of you having a bet each way. Pretending you're a host, but really being a left-wing participant in the debate.
I am trying to get to the bottom of the issue. I have no doubt
that there are some... You're defending Van because I made a valid point.
Storm, please. I have no doubt that there are some legitimate concerns that men have about certain issues. Now, you talk about, there being more graduates than women than men. Great. OK, legitimate concern. OK, we talk about the family law system, apparently these days, being skewed away from men in favour of women. Please. To create inequitable results. These are worth exploring. But do you need to run down feminism in order to explore those issues?
No, you don't. I'm running down Van.
Okay, well, why don't we try and keep away from personal attacks?
Can I defend myself, please, or is a man going to speak over me about me?
You're trying to speak over us as
yes,
ever.
you are speaking over me, Mark.
You're
proving my point, Mark. You're not even letting me talk about myself. Now, I've known you for 20 years.
No, you haven't.
I met you when I was an undergraduate at the University of Wollongong. Wollongong.
Well,
You know for a fact I'm from a working
say.
class family from the suburbs of Sydney, and I
No,
write
you
about that
didn't.
in
You're a
my
product of
work
the
all the
club
time.
industry.
You have to deal with the fact, Mark, that your position is the extremist one. I'm from the suburbs. I'm state school. I'm University of Wollongong, and I'm a feminist commentator who's
You're an
pointed out
anarchist.
the fact that women are discriminated against in this society. Let's talk about those trains and the need for safe carriages.
Van,
Were
can you
you
just give us
sexually
a
assaulted
moment?
on a train when you were a teenager? Because I was.
Excuse me, Van. I mean with respect to all of you, but I think personal attacks not very helpful at this stage.
Called the train about 20 years ago. The practicality on the 11:30
Mark,
train
good on you with
heading
your
out of
personal
Sydney.
attacks. Good on you, mate. Good to see you sticking to the topic again.
Well, I am sticking to the topic. It just shows how little you know about the practicalities of life in the suburbs, because the idea that
I
you're
don't
on
live
an
in a
11...
suburb. I live in a cloud, Mark.
No, you live in cloud cuckoo land, absolutely. So look, the point is that if you're on the 11:30 train out of the city and there's a women's only carriage and you're a bad bloke who wants to do damage, well, you go straight in. You're not going to respect the pink colour.
Oh, yeah, that's a really insightful comment, Mark. Good on you.
Thank you for giving us your insight to how the
Get out of your limo, pal.
It's so nice to have constructive debate. Thanks, Mark. Well, listen, Miranda, thank you. And thank you, Van. Thank you, Rory, for your insights. And thank you, Mark, for your entertainment.
Colour pink's going to protect you. Well, thanks for your objectivity, Andrew. And maybe next week you can go back to being a proper professional host instead of participant. If you want to participate, declare that at the start of the segment, and you might get a lot more respect from the viewers.
Once again, I'm finding
all white people are racist, all men are misogynistic, all cisgender people are transphobic, all members of a majority are biased against the members of the minority or oppressed group. In fact, most people are racist, misogynistic, transphobic, ableist,